has been in the Parliament for less than a year. He was standing by the Prime Minister's side today while this announcement was being made about the Commissioner that will have full responsibility over veterans and also the prevention of veteran suicide. There'll also be somebody there who's there to advocate for families. Now, no one's saying no to a Royal Commission at some point somewhere in the future, but basically they're sort of leapfrogging that process and getting to the end to say, well, let's get somebody in a position to help and help now. Phillip joins us now from Canberra before we go back to everyone else. Well, Phillip, this is a ridiculous thing to say, but I'll say congratulations on the speed and efficacy that you've got there. I wish I didn't have to say that about an issue like this, but as a bloke who's served his country and serves a community that is full of servicemen and women, tell us about today. What did you think of the chance to stand there with the PM?
Well, firstly, thanks for having me tonight. And I've put my name, my reputation, everything I stand for into the National Commissioner who's responsible for veterans suicide and ADF suicide. So I wholeheartedly believe in this. This Commissioner has the same what a Royal Commission can do, a Royal Commissioner can do, compel people to give evidence, can speak to people, can look into things. It's something that will see where the touch points are and then learn from that to see where we can put up solutions and make recommendations that will actually happen.
Okay, so give me an idea in a practical sense, right? If I'm somebody who is having a hell of a time with the Department of Veterans Affairs, do I go to this person who helps me get a resolution? How do they help?
Okay, so there's two different aspects here. So you've got a Commissioner who has a team, or her has a team, that looks at veteran suicide and ADF suicide. And then there's a family advocate who will work with veterans, people, spouses, mothers, fathers, people who have been bereaved by suicide, people who have attempted suicide. And that's the person that people will go to. They'll do two things. They will look at policy changes and change policy within the Department of Veterans Affairs, and also link in with the Commissioner. Now, the Commissioner does not sit in DVA, does not sit in Defence. It reports directly back into the Prime Minister. And if they've found things that they need to compel people to testify, or they need to look at documents from DVA or Defence, they can do that. They have the same powers as a Royal Commissioner would.
Right, so when our reporter Annalise Nielsen went to Townsville, spoke to a collection of people that were willing to say on camera, look, I'm 50-50 about a Royal Commission, I just want something that is a little more concrete. Is this the version of the something that's more concrete? Is it fair to say that we've leapfrogged the Royal Commission process, assumed what it would recommend, and instead of spending a year getting to that point, we're at that point now?
So this is something that can action now, and we can put in place an acting Commissioner that can get on with the job. A Royal Commission, we're looking at 12, 18 months, 2 years, then a report, and that will take time, and then recommendations come back in, and then we talk about it. This is too much time. People will die by suicide through this time period. So this is something that will happen now, that will have the family advocate, that will happen now, and we'll all be coming... I'll be nipping at the heels. That's what will be happening. I'll be nipping at the heels of the Commissioner and of the family advocate, and like my electorate and like the people around the country expect. Because we want suicides and the veteran suicide epidemic to not just lower but to stop.
Yeah, Phillip, I think what you do is important. The advocacy of it's been important. Fighting for it's been important. So you made it very clear here, and I can hear Pauline's wanting to say something in a second, but I'll get to you in a moment, Senator, because we're not doing full panel here, but you'll have a crack at a second. But Phillip, again, last word. You've come on this show previously and said if you're battling and you're in my part of Australia, pick up the phone and I'll come and see you. Like literally, come to my office. Yep. You know, go and find people under bridges, all of that stuff. You're all in on this. You are all in on this idea.
I've been on the phone since 4 a.m. this morning, talking with veterans around the country. I put my name, my credibility, and everything into this. This is something I'm putting my heart on, and it's up to the people around the country, in my electorate, everywhere else, and including Senator Hanson, to hold me to account. Because I can tell you now that I do not care about a minister sitting here and patting people on the back or me on the back and saying you're doing really well. Don't care. All I want is for people to not die by suicide. And if you're unwell, it's okay, you can get help. It's okay to not be okay. But it's your responsibility throughout Australia to hold us to account. And I'm here standing ready to hold it.
Geez, you're a good man. Good on you, Phillip. I appreciate it, mate. Thank you so much, of course, for your service way back then and absolutely now. Good on you, mate. Really appreciate it. Phillip Thompson is his name. He is, of course, the member for Herbert in Queensland. We'll get